Reviews. If he makes you feel like $1,000,000 bill, say oh, oh, say oh. If you go left, right, up, down, just spinning round and round, say oh, oh, say oh, oh, baby. Now that I have your attention, we are still in A Song for You, the book from Robyn Crawford. We are on actually, chapters 13 and 14, all right? So, starting with chapter 13, Robyn starts talking about she and Whitney and Sylvia, and there's some of their travels, and she talks about she's still having problems with Sissy, of course. We know Sissy and Robyn's, Whitney's family, of course, everyone hated Robyn, all right? She also talks about 1989. This is where Whitney first met Bobby at the Soul Train Awards, okay? And she talked about how Whitney was talking to her friends, BB and CC Wine, and I think Bobby was sitting behind them, and Whitney kept bumping into Bobby, and he turned around, and the next thing you know, they're going out on a date, all right? So that's how that happened. Also at this time, she was still dating Eddie Murphy, or as Robyn said, she was still interested in Eddie Murphy. Of course, Eddie Murphy was telling people they were no more than friends. Now, Robyn contradicts that, and she says they were more than friends, okay? So, anyway, she starts talking about Whitney asked she and Sylvia to go to the drugstore to get her some protection or whatever. So they did, and she talked about the first date that Whitney and Bobby had, and so Whitney didn't use what they purchased at the drugstore, so they were like, "Are you nuts?" So anyway, moving on to Whitney's 26th birthday, she talks about that. Bobby was there, as well as a lot of other stars. She talks about how Eddie was hot and cold. So she also talks about how Eddie really destroyed Whitney's self-esteem. He would pick on her, talk about her hair weave, so, and then she went to surprise him for his birthday. She had, had a cake for him. She was dressed in nothing but lingerie, and when she got to the gate, Eddie, his two, I don't know if they were bodyguards, whatever, they worked for Eddie Murphy, so they came to the gate and told her that Eddie was busy. All right, so Robyn says that she didn't see Whitney for 2 days, and when she returned, she was a wreck. She had gone for 2 days on a drug binge, allegedly, and she didn't have anything to eat, no sleep, and she was a wreck. And so, of course, she and Sylvia brought her back to health. She also talks about how, again, Eddie was hot and cold. And so Robyn didn't understand, Whitney, why are you still dealing with this guy? So, she says that, even after the incident, where he wouldn't let her in the house, Whitney was still interested in Eddie, and then he asked her to go bowling and said, "Robyn, you want to go bowling?" She said, "No, I'm good." Eddie asked her, "Don't you like bowling?" "Nah, I like going to bowl, but not with you." Okay. So then she talks about, she says something about Clive and Whitney wanting to, change, some of the music that she was doing, that she was booed again at the Soul Train Awards, okay? And, that hurt her. I mean, if you have talent, you have talent. So that wasn't right, folks. We all know that. And then she talks about how she and Whitney went to see the movie Beaches with Bette Midler. We all love Bette Midler, okay? And she talks about how one scene in the movie, there's this tombstone, in nice large letters that said Whitney. She said she and, Whitney cried and boo-hooed, and okay, it was lovely. But good movie, but a tearjerker, okay? So she also talks about how this time Whitney, they went to L.A. Reid's house. L.A. Reid, Babyface. Okay, that the songs. I'm Your Baby Tonight. My Name Is Not Susan came out of those sessions, and the song Anymore. She talks about they had a good time. Also here she talks about going to Michael Jackson's house, of course, at Neverland Ranch. Everyone loved it. So she talks about that, how endearing, and how loving Michael Jackson was to them. She says that Michael kept staring at her, and even Whitney, you know, noticed Michael Jackson was staring at Robyn, and they never figured out why, but Whitney told her, I think it was your eyes. He must really love your eyes, okay? So we know that's what Whitney told Robyn a few chapters earlier, but that she loved her eyes as well. Then they went off to tour in Europe, okay? Talked about that. Okay, Whitney, again, she's not black enough. That was getting to her. Moving on, she starts talking about the Super Bowl in Tampa. Of course, we all know it's legendary now. The 1991 Super Bowl, we were in Desert Storm at the time as a country, so there was a lot of extra security. Also, she talks about how the record company, Whitney, I mean, she killed it. We all know that. The record company wanted to release the national anthem, okay? Because she did such a good job, so she talked about that. Also, she talked about the televised broadcast in 1991. If you remember, she did the Heroes concert where she had all those songs. Whitney decided to sing a song for you, all right? My personal favorite version is by Donny Hathaway, but the Temptations also did a version of it. But Robyn told her when they used to live together, their very first apartment, I would love for you to sing that song. But Whitney told her at that time, I haven't lived enough. So Robyn said it was shocking to her that, you know, when they did the Heroes concert, that Whitney decided to sing it, all right? So that was in 1991. Beautiful, beautiful song. Dennis Edwards and the Temptations do a version of it, and a few other people, okay? So excellent song. If you're not familiar with it, you need to hear it. You are missing a treat. Trust me. I've been so many places in my life and time. I've sung a lot of songs. I've made some bad rhymes. I've acted out my life on stages with 10,000 people watching. Wow. But we're alone now, and I'm singing this song for you. Don't worry, I'm still not going to quit my day job. All right, so wanted to share that with you. Ending on a sad note, folks, this is where Robyn finds out from her mother and her sister. Brother is really thin. He looks ill. And this is where they find out that her brother Marty has AIDS. All right, so folks, if you enjoyed the content, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you again for watching Rollins Reviews.